Okay. So, what is a question?
How do sharks eat boats, and how do sharks crash boats, and how do sharks breathe underwater, and how do they swim?
Those are like 4 questions. Okay, so how do sharks crash boats? How do sharks eat boats? How do sharks breathe underwater? And how do they swim, right? Those are your 4 questions. Awesome. Those are all how questions. And that's what we're going to go over. We're going to go over questions that start with how, which you just asked 4 of those. Where? Do you know a question that starts with the word where? What?
Where do pets go?
Where do pets go?
And where do pets go to eat?
Okay, so we did how and where. Now when, we're going to learn about when questions. Do you know of a when question? Oh.
Yep.
What?
When do pets eat?
When do pets eat?
Our pets.
Our pets, yeah. So then there's...
Can I tell them our pets?
Let's finish this real quick, okay?
Okay.
Then there's what questions. Do you know of a what question? No? What's a what? You don't know of a what question?
Well, I do.
You do? What?
A what question is what kind of pet is very furry and fuzzy?
What kind of pet is very fuzzy? And then there's, so we did how. Oh, there's a who question. Do you know of a who question?
Who goes? Well, there's a which one too. Who does feed their pets like us?
Who feeds their pets like us? Yes. So we asked how, we asked who, we asked what, we asked where, we asked when, and then there's a why question.
Why do pets eat? Wow, I know that. So how do...
No, why?
Why do...
I mean, your question, why do pets eat? I mean, yeah, you know the answer to that, like you already said. You said you know the answer to that. That's fine. It's still a question. We can still ask questions that we know the answer to. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just ask a thing that I really don't know.
Okay, so what's a why question that you don't know?
Well, how do whales spout water
That's
out
a how.
of their head?
How do whales spout water out of there? So that's a how question you really want to know. Is there a why question you really want to know?
Why do whales?
We could change that question to a why. Because you said, how do whales sprout water from their head? We could say, why do they do that?
Why do whales spout their water out of their head? Because I don't even know that.
I don't know that either, but we can look that up later. And when we ask questions, are we learning? Are we learning about new things?
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, you are always asking...
My blankie there.
All right, now. You're always asking me to look up questions you have, right? Because you're always curious about so many different things.
Why are chips so crunchy?
Why are chips so crunchy?
Blankie.
So, yeah. So, we're going to go over those types of questions. There's 6 types of questions. Do you remember what they were?
Yep.
What?
Why?
Why?
Was?
What?
And who?
Who?
How?
How?
And try.
When and where? When and where? You got 4 of the 6 great with no problem. That's awesome. It can be hard to remember all 6. It's okay. It can be hard to remember all the 6 ones we're going to go over. But yeah, so that's what we're learning, are those types of questions. So, is there anything else you would want to learn with these questions?
Yeah.
What?
How do sharks breathe underwater?
How do sharks breathe underwater? That's okay. How do sharks breathe underwater? Yeah. So, we have our questions. We know what we're learning. We know what we already knew before. You already knew how to ask questions. You already knew how to answer questions, right? We already knew what we're learning. Oh, well, we know what we're learning now. And so, yeah. And there's reasons that we're learning this, right? Do you know the reasons that we're learning this? Hey, do you know the reason that we're learning this?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know. We need to learn this so we need to know how to ask questions. Like you're always asking me questions. You're just playing. You're always asking me questions. And so, and when you ask me questions and I find the answer, we're both learning together, right? So we need to know how to ask questions so we can learn things. And yeah. So that's what we're doing, huh?
Like we both need to learn how to wells spout water out our head.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. But yeah.